Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Welcome back, peeps. Thank you for tuning in the Band of Bros channel. In today's video, we're going to be going over should you use the Riot Shield in Warzone. And I'm going to give you a quick, simple answer and explain why you should use it. And the answer is a big, fat yes. You should definitely use the Riot Shield in Warzone. Especially if you're playing teams, you should have at least one teammate that is using the Riot Shield. So let's get into a couple tips and tricks and maybe some things that you didn't know about the Riot Shield in Warzone and why you should use this. First off, something you need to be aware of is check this one out in the video. This guy's going to shoot a rocket at me, and as you guys can see, my armor did not go down, only my health. That's something very important that you have to be aware of when using the Riot Shield. It happens with grenades, it happens with RPGs. I did notice that, just kind of like a bunch of explosions happen, and my armor never goes down. So it's just something you need to be aware of. If they're throwing explosions at you, your health does go down, but your armor does not go down while you're using the Riot Shield, and as far as my experience has gone. All right, next up, something that is pretty useful as well is that if you use the heartbeat sensor, you want your Riot Shield guy to use a heartbeat sensor. Why? Because when you use your heartbeat sensor, as you guys can see, it seems like the guy is putting the Riot Shield down just a tad bit and the rest of his body is covered, but actually the guy doesn't. That's just a little animation that does in your screen. But as far as the enemy's perspective, your Riot Shield is still completely normal. You don't put your Riot Shield down, you don't move it aside, you don't do anything. So you can basically use your heartbeat sensor while looking at a building, and your Riot Shield is completely up. Obviously, you just need to be crouched so you don't shoot your feet, but you're basically a walking UAV, because if you're going to check into a building, you know, sometimes you pull out your heartbeat sensor, and you obviously can't shoot when you have it in your hand. So sometimes the enemy pops up, and then he gets you. So it's pretty important to use the heartbeat sensor, give it to the guy that is going to be running the Riot Shield. Now let's go up against enemies. As you guys can see here, we play as a team, right? The one that goes in first is going to be the Riot Shield guy, which is going to be me. I pop him up, I find him with my Riot Shield. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be the one that's rushing him. What is he going to do? The guy usually, when you just see a Riot Shield guy coming at you, you kind of panic, right? And the first thing you do is you try to shoot the Riot Shield. So the Riot Shield goes in as a team, and then you have your backup behind you. You always need to play, this is a team-based weapon, if you could say it that way. So you always need your team that they can back you up. So you go in first with your Riot Shield, and then you got your team with you shooting from behind. Now, again, what you want to do with the Riot Shield, what is very, very important, is basically your spotter. This is something very important. It's not just to protect yourself from bullets. You have to use his main ability, which is protecting yourself from bullets, but while you can do what? While you can observe the playing field without getting headshotted from a guy that's 1 kilometer away with the HDR. All right, that's why the Riot Shield is so important. What you do is, you know, you can peek windows, you can peek hills, and then you can let your team know if there's any enemies, if they're shooting at you, anything like that. That's why it's very important to have one person at least to have the Riot Shield in your team. Another thing that a lot of guys have been using, sometimes in the final zone, as you guys can see here, there's not that much cover. So what you can do, if you actually play tactical and you've got a really good team with you, you can have the Riot Shield guy moving forward, and then you can have your friend right behind you, covering behind the Riot Shield. As you guys can see there, again, I see a bunch of snipers, and I'm going to try and protect my teammate. This is a classical example, which you guys saw at the beginning of the video, which I'm going to replay right here. I mean, it's insane. The Riot Shield kind of has like some angles on the side, so it doesn't just protect your front, it kind of protects your sides as well. As you guys can see here, we got guys firing from in front, from the left side, and I'm here just like a maniac. I mean, I'm here like a juggernaut, just protecting myself. I was screaming when this was going on. And again, something very important that you do want to have with your class is going to be amped, so you can switch weapons incredibly fast. That is going to be something really, really important. The other thing that you want to have with your weapon is find a stable assault rifle that you can shoot mid to long ranges. That's something that I would recommend in my personal opinion. Again, but the most important one is to have amp, so you can switch weapons really fast. Something also very important, if you're going to be running with your Riot Shield, just try to be aware and try to put the enemies on the right hand side of you, because while you're running, the Riot Shield does an animation where it puts the Riot Shield on the right side. So that's also pretty good. If you're going to be running away from the enemies, it's going to be really, really hard for them to shoot you, really hard for them to kill you. So again, if you're running, just try and put your Riot Shield on the right hand side. Again, something really important is when you're reviving or when you're doing any kind of things that you don't see your Riot Shield, it's going to be in your back for people that didn't know. But but this is also going to be very important when you're going to revive a teammate. So let's say people are shooting at you from behind. What you're going to do is place your back behind, you know, aiming towards the enemies, and then you're going to revive your teammate. I did this in quite a lot of occasions, and my teammates have done it as well, and it is very, very good. So you can play with the Riot Shield to your advantage a lot. Something also that I do want to give you guys that you should bring with your Riot Shield is bring a trophy system. That's why I do have one in there, but just always bring a trophy system if you're going to use the Riot Shield, because Riot Shields cause just a spam of RPGs. You know, as soon as somebody sees you with a Riot Shield, it's first thing you just throw grenades, explosive RPGs, everything. Let's just throw everything at this dude. So just be aware of that. Always maybe try and carry a trophy system with you. That's why I placed it there in the final system. In the final circle, just kind of like in the middle to protect myself. Again, those would be all the tips and tricks that I have for you guys. So again, let me just repeat some of the main ones. Use amps so you can change your weapons really quickly. When you're using your heartbeat sensor, it seems as if the guy's putting his shield down, but in reality it's not. It is completely steady. When you're running, your right shield goes to the right hand side, so always try and keep your enemies on the right hand side. And again, always use teamwork. This is a team-based equipment. This is a team-based weapon. Because you have to play with your team. You have to use it. The most important is using your pings, checking out the enemies so they can't see you, and then you're gonna ping them so your friends come and then they kill you, and then they kill them. Sorry. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. At the end here, I messed it up. I didn't wanna dive here in the bottom, which happened here, and kind of messed up my game. But hopefully you guys did enjoy. Thank you everybody for tuning in. I deeply appreciate it. Peace out, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your day.